In the forests and fields around my home, I've watched the leaves of early spring pop out of the ground and cover it almost like a carpet. The first flowers I saw in these carpets were fawn lilies and then trout lilies. Trout lily leaves are speckled, while fawn lily leaves are solid green. Flowers are the structures plants need to form seeds. In the center of many flowers is the stigma, and for most plants, pollen needs to be carried to the stigma for seeds to form. If you open up the seeds, you can find the baby plant inside. For some plants, insects are attracted to the flowers. Insects are attracted because many flowers produce food for insects. Often plants produce a sugary nectar that insects and other animals suck up. The flowers of some trout lily species point down or nod. This makes it more difficult for crawling insects to take their nectar, and more likely that flying insects will take their nectar and pollinate the flowers at the same time. Red buds also flower in early spring and produce nectar for insects. You can see the beautiful, tiny purple flowers before the tree's leaves emerge. Another plant that flowers in the spring are red maples. Unlike the lilies and redbud flowers, the flowers of the sugar maple are tiny and not very showy. That's because these flowers are wind pollinated, so their stigmas need to have lots of wind blow by them so that they can catch the pollen floating by. In the last few weeks, the dogwoods have been unfurling their flower buds. When I first saw dogwoods flowering, I thought their flowers were so beautiful. Then I learned that what I thought were flowers were not flowers at all. They're colorful bracts. The bracts are sort of like stop signs for insects, especially butterflies and moths. They're saying with their color, hey, there's some good eating right here. If you look inside the bracts, you can find clusters of tiny yellow flowers. Maine apples are flowering in the forests around my house right now. These plants stand about 1.5 to 2 feet tall, and they have really large leaves, just 1 or 2. And if you look underneath them, you can find the flowers. I think about these flowers as little surprises, but I also think about them as being really shy because they hide underneath the large leaves. The white flowers are beautiful, with a circular-shaped stigma in the center, and the anthers where their pollen lie circling the stigma. Another showy flowering plant that I'm seeing in the woods is phlox. Phlox flowers are purple and star-shaped. I see them all along the paths when I walk in the forest. Hummingbirds can take their nectar and pollinate them. Columbines, like phlox, are visited by hummingbirds. They're flowering in my garden right now, and I saw a hummingbird gathering nectar from them just the other day. One of the last flowering plants that I've seen lately is Jack in the Pulpit. We found them when we were mushroom hunting. These plants can live longer than 25 years. When you're outside this spring, maybe you can look for flowers and watch to see who visits them.